Welcome to the RankEmPodcast. Glad to have you back with us. My name is Garrett Searight, and I'm glad to be joining you. As always, joined by my co-host, Don Garwood. I'm at Garrett Searight, and Don is joining us for the first time on the road.
I am on the road, as Garrett said, calling in remotely.
Don travels a lot for work, so for the first time, we're going to reach into the vault. When we got all together back a couple weeks ago, we made sure to record some podcasts just for this exact scenario where Don, where in the world are you, and what are you wearing, and you have to tell the truth.
I am in Houston, Texas, and I am wearing a purple LeBron James shirt.
You're wearing red shorts.
Red shorts.
I was going to say you're wearing red shorts, aren't you?
I am 100% wearing red shorts. It is my fashion style of choice.
That's not a style.
I'm bringing the purple shirt and red shorts, red gym shorts specifically, into the world. I've been at it for the better part of 10 years now.
Doesn't
I'm still
look
the
good
only
together.
one. They allegedly still don't look good. But I'm confident that I'm going to make it happen.
Yeah, one time we were getting fitted for tuxedos for our friend's wedding, and Don said, "I'm wearing I'm wearing a purple shirt and red shorts, and I know these tuxedos don't match."
Right, and they felt like carpet.
They did feel like carpet.
They were the most uncomfortable tux I've ever worn.
So Don is in Houston, Texas for work. So for the first time, we are going to reach into the vault. And today on the RankEmPodcast, we are going to rank our top 5 favorite school lunches. So now that we are looking into the vault, it gives us, some ability to tell you what might happen. First of all, Don doesn't know the correct name for his number 1.
Okay, I know the correct name for number 1. It's the first thing I say when I announce number 1. It's just also known as what most people know it as.
It's also known as literally its name. You have the AKA, which is, I have no idea how that became an AKA for you, but you'll know. You look at it and you say, "That's absolutely what that is." That is not. No one. You are not going to get people to call your number 1 what you call the number 1. Just like red shorts, and purple shirts are not going to match anytime soon.
Okay, well, this come full circle, and I'm not a fan of you questioning my fashion choices or my food naming choices.
Well, if you would stop having questionable choices, I wouldn't have to question them.
If I stopped having questionable choices, I wouldn't be a 30-year-old single guy in a hotel in Houston on a podcast with you.
That's probably true, and I thank you for your bad choices. Joining us on this podcast this week is my younger brother, Zach. He is not joining us tonight to introduce the podcast, but he will be ranking his 5 favorite school lunches too. And
he's got some hot takes
that's true.
Which is apparently his MO on every podcast he's on is just a hot take that no one agrees with.
Hot take parade. It is a hot take parade with Zach. So anything else you got to get off your chest, Don, before we reach into the vault?
No. So this is going to follow the old format that we had with a conglomerate list at the end and an exciting story in the post show, I guess is what we'll call that. So make sure to stick around for the post show to hear some fun high school stories.
That's what it's all about. So before we get going, I am at Garrett Searight on Twitter. Don is at Donnie_G, and you can find the podcast at RankEmPodcast on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Give us a 5-star review, subscribe, however you can help us out. We certainly appreciate it. And as always, we can be found wherever it is you download your podcasts. So without further ado, here is our school lunch episode. So I'm Garrett Searight, joined with my little brother Zach and Don Garwood. And this week, we are going to rank our top 5 favorite school lunches. So I think it's important to note that we did all go to the same school. Zach is, 2 years younger than Don and I. So we had roughly the same school lunch experience. Don and I did, and I think this is germane to the conversation, we finished our high school careers. We graduated before Michelle Obama ruined school lunches. At least that's what all the kids say. So everything is whole grain.
I haven't been back to a high school to eat lunch since, so, I can't verify. I know.
All the kids are, that's the only thing they dislike about Michelle Obama, is that she has ruined their school lunches. So
I think that instead of cookies, they're getting apple slices, which, it has been ruined.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, do they still get to buy an Uncrustable for like 75 cents? Not 76 cents, but 75.
That we don't know. So, Zach, I'll start with you. Let's start at the bottom of your list. Number 5, top 5 school lunches.
Number 5 school lunch for me was tacos. I feel like you guys are gonna hate me because I feel like you have those higher on your list.
I hate you for so many other reasons than that.
Well, that's fair. You've known me longer than the audience.
I don't
has.
know that there's any more reason that I could hate you than putting tacos at 5.
Is that because you have them much higher or much lower?
I have them higher than 5.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm going to say much.
I wanted them to be higher, but I couldn't do it. Just tacos were great because our school had set up a bunch of lettuce and sour cream and cheese and salsa, and you could load up a taco. And, I mean, they were totally highballing us on tacos because an extra taco was $1. I mean, you can get 2 tacos for 99 cents at Jack in the Box. Have since 1992.
3 cookies for 50 cents, though.
That was a good deal. Not saying that
only on Taco Day.
Fact.
Right. So I was gonna talk about that when I got to tacos in my top 5 list. Is you got peanut butter sandwiches and a cookie with tacos at our school.
And honestly, I'd trade a cookie for a peanut butter sandwich.
Okay, but
on Taco Day.
So you got a cookie with your meal. You could purchase 3 extra cookies for 50 cents. The first cookie they gave you, you could kill someone in a Bruce Lee movie with. But the other 3 cookies you got, you could have taken a nap on. They were that soft.
Somebody's grandma made them and brought them.
Yes, where did you get the first batch that automatically came with
specifically
that were so horribly hard, and then for 50 cents I can get 3 more that were baked with gooey deliciousness.
Yeah,
it can't be explained. It can't be explained. It cannot. There's no way those sets of cookies were cooked in the same kitchen as the first batch that you got every day.
And
so
everybody's first cookie was like that. So from last month when they made tacos and they had all those leftover cookies, they went through and they said everybody's first cookie is this leftover. We got to get rid of these leftovers.
They were trash. So tacos comes in number 5 on Zach's list. Don, what about you? Number 5.
Number 5, Chili Day. And listen, I got excited for Hamburger Day because that meant Chili Day was coming in the next couple days.
See, one of Don and I's, and I guess Zach, one of your friends now too. So his name was Kendall, and he always he was banking on the fact that he was the senior superlative he was going to win was friendliest because of Chili Day, that he was going to let everybody in the line go before him because the hamburger sunk to the bottom. So he would stand there in line and be like, "Hey, Brittany, how you doing? No, go ahead of me. I insist.
Please.
No, I insist. Please go ahead of me." And then he would be checking to see where they were at in that gigantic steel tin of chili. It was like, okay, time to scoot, because he was getting hamburger soup. Everybody else was getting tomato soup. He was getting hamburger soup.
He had second lunch, and he was the last one in line. There was no tomato sauce in his chili soup.
It was just all
hamburger and beans.
So yeah, that's a very good point, because Kendall was a senior when I was a freshman. And he told Garrett and Don that, and they passed that wisdom on to me. and that was something that I continued to do. I didn't tell people because I'm not an idiot.
Chili day.
But chili day, yeah, I was just like every other day. Again, I'm fat. Every other day, I was running to lunch to get to the.
But on chili day, you turn into a campaigning politician. You're just like, hey, good to see ya. Help yourself.
Yeah.
Get up in there. But the grilled cheese on chili day was better than the chili.
Fact.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's chili day, though.
right,
That's
but
one meal is chili day.
Right, but grilled cheese makes chili day. That's cool.
Yeah.
The chili was not good.
And thinking back on just the way that school lunches were, we were drinking chocolate milk with chili.
Yeah,
That's
that's weird.
that is a little messed up.
I mean, at least it wasn't white milk, like some monsters who go to school and it's like, oh, do you want chocolate milk or white milk? Oh, I'm going to take white milk today. Yeah. Gross.
Is everything all right at home? So Zach has tacos at 5.
Kendall's letting that person through on every day during lunch day.
Don has chili at 5. My number 5, I want to have higher. I really do. And it's one of my favorite meals as a grown-up.
I hear the word taco come out of your mouth.
No. Chicken and noodles with mashed potatoes. You got butter bread with it, which was a good, wholesome meal. We're in Ohio, where before global warming, the winters were cold as hell. All right, so for 5 months out of the year, a nice hearty dish of chicken and noodles and mashed potatoes and butter bread was great. The problem was it was either the same temperature as the surface of the sun or the coldest thing you ever touched in your entire life. There was no middle ground. Like, I want to have chicken and noodles higher. It deserves to be higher, but it was either fresh out of the freezer or the devil had just got done cooking it. There was no in between. It was either just horribly scalding or cold. So that is why I've got it down at number 5.
That's a real good one. Full disclosure, I didn't even have that on my top 5 or my honorable mention. I kind of forgot about that, and I feel bad now. Like I'm reevaluating my whole life decisions.
And the chicken and noodles were the sketchy part of that. The mashed potatoes were always good,
right?
And you got butter bread on that day,
right?
Which butter bread was good,
right? And the older you got, the more unlimited amounts of butter bread you got to grab to just keep dunking into your mashed potatoes and chicken and noodles. But they used that like super cheap chicken that was kind of like 38% bones, and then just the rest was dark meat chicken.
Just fine brown bone dust.
Yeah, nobody ever had white meat in their chicken and noodles at school. This is not 100% white meat chicken that they were getting, but the meal cost, $2. So what sort of quality are you expecting? So around the horn, number 5, Zach had tacos, Don had chili, I had chicken and noodles. Number 4, Don, for you was?
Breakfast day. Sausage links, French toast. Drown it in syrup.
No, it was just brown sugar. Like it was brown. It was
brown K-Row. Like it was corn.
I didn't
syrup.
say maple syrup.
That's true. You did not.
You did not. But
because that French toast was hard.
Fact.
And you really had
you could build a house out of it.
You had to smother it with that
with that
syrup, with that quote unquote syrup. But God, was it good?
That was sort of
and
like
it was so rare that you actually got.
Oh
it,
yeah, like there are school lunches that during Lent you were looking at either tomato soup, grilled cheese pizza, or a fish sandwich. That you got. The breakfast day was, that was once every other month. It wasn't a weekly occurrence. It wasn't a.
And I was someone who never looked at the lunch schedule ahead of time. I never packed regardless. So lunch day was always a super surprise to me. You'd be in 4th period German class, and you're sitting there like, man, I'm hungry. What is for lunch? And someone's like, yo, it's breakfast day. Oh my God.
This day just got so much better. So Don's got breakfast day at number 4, or just specifically. I don't think there really was another breakfast day, was there?
I don't remember one. It was always like those cinnamon sticks, the cinnamon toast sticks, and the sausage links.
Yeah, the French toast sticks and sausage links. So that's number 4 for Don. Zach, what about you?
Don's throwing heavy hitters like this. Like if this is his 4 and 5, I'm gonna get crucified in my top 3, because I didn't even think of either one of the things Don just said. My number 4 is probably going to get me punched in the face. But my number 4 pick was Pizza Day. I mean, it was a staple. Like it
so you're talking
regular
rectangle pizza.
Yeah.
cheese.
Like I thoroughly enjoyed my pizza.
Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you have pizza here isn't what's going to get you punched in the face. It's just the way that you describe the pizza. Because there are 2 distinct different types of pizza.
Oh, don't worry.
So I have
Don't worry, Don.
rectangle pizza in my honorable mention. Did schools not believe pepperoni should be sliced? Like, it was always in hunk form. It was never slices of pepperoni. It was just like, like sawdust pepperoni.
Right, like they just
hunks.
ran it through a wood chipper twice and said, "Here you go, kids."
Like, there was no. They don't believe in slices of pepperoni. Like, it was against their religion. Like, the Amish don't believe in electricity, and schools don't believe that pepperoni should be sliced.
They believe in it, just neither one of them are going to use it.
That's true, but it's like it could be good. Like, and there are days where I was like, I'm 30 years old. I'm like, man, if I just get a rectangle pizza that was soft as hell and the sauce tasted like ketchup and there was barely enough cheese to cover the
cooked
slice.
3 hours ago and put under a lamp.
Just
My day would be much better.
yeah, that would be okay by me. So Zach's got rectangle pizza at number 4. Like I said, I've got it on my honorable mention. My number 4, and it's so basic, but I liked the breaded chicken sandwiches. Like, they were actually almost juicy, and I realized they were probably made out of possum meat, but they were good.
I'm not a scientist, but I don't think there's white meat on a possum.
There wasn't white meat in that chicken sandwich.
You got me there.
But
There was more breading on that chicken than anything. It
Don't-
was just
don't
breading
care.
with juice on the inside.
yeah, of the stuff that we had at school that was relatively moist, breaded chicken sandwich day, and the things that I would double up on, breaded chicken sandwich day, I would get a second breaded chicken sandwich because I thought they were good.
So full disclosure, I had to Google our school's last 2 months lunch menu to kind of round out my top 5. I had 3 of them off the top of my head. Had to Google it, and as I started reading, I was like, "Oh, yep." I looked it up, and I still don't remember those chicken sandwiches.
See, and I was going to tell you liked the breaded chicken sandwiches because I can remember always knowing, like, if we had breaded chicken sandwiches on Monday, that you had babysat your nieces or nephews because you would go through the lunch line and say, I can have another chicken sandwich.
Ooh,
instead of
sandwich.
can I have another chicken sandwich? I can have another chicken sandwich with a question mark at the end. Like, Don, that's not English. Like, you
know
just
what I
got
did?
out of English.
You know what I did? I got another chicken sandwich.
Oh, you did, but
I got charged a little extra for it, probably for my
Your
verbiage. But
I can
got
have
it.
another chicken sandwich. No, it's can I have another chicken sandwich?
May
Don?
I
So,
has one?
You liked the breaded chicken sandwiches too, so
Okay. Well, I don't remember them, but I don't remember a lot. I've got some miles on my brain, so
that's true. CTE. So that's our numbers 5 through 4. So number 3 now, Zach, on your list. Let's feel free to disappoint us once again.
The ham and turkey wraps that they gave us every once in a while.
See, Don just made the same face that
Yeah, that must have been something they rolled out my junior year when you two weren't there no more.
I don't-
which face did I make?
Like-
Because
what in
the
the
face
world are you
that
talking
I
about?
wanted to make was I completely forgot about the ham and chicken wraps.
Oh, thank God! Thank
because
God I'm
they
not
were
a crazy person.
they were delicious, and you could never find them as good at school
in the wild.
In the wild, you can't go to Walmart and you can see ham and turkey wraps or whatever they were, but you can't get one that was good as the one that was at school.
Thank you.
And
I
don't
literally-
know where
I was
this.
gonna say,
I don't know where this is going to go on my list, but if I could edit it, I'm moving it to 4 and bumping everything down a spot.
honest to God, I don't remember these.
See, I
these
said
wraps.
it earlier, and Garrett looked at me like I had a horn growing in my head. They...
I have no idea what you're talking
Well,
about.
they didn't serve them in February or March at the school.
Well, to be fair, they weren't in school half the month of March, but still, they weren't.
they still
on
had the menu out.
right? But no, it was probably a slice of ham, a slice of turkey, a fistful of lettuce, and some probably mayo that they put like half
That they
a packet
let
of.
sit in the sun for a while.
They probably put like half a packet of
And the leftover
ranch.
tortillas from Taco Day.
Right, and like they rolled them up like you could definitely tell that there was a little bit of love put into these. They weren't mass produced like the chicken sandwiches or a vat of mashed potatoes.
That
like
somebody in the kitchen was whipping up hand by hand these wraps that are mythical. They don't exist.
they do not exist in the wild.
No, they don't exist. You're dreaming. You're dreaming.
You
of
don't
it.
think they would
That's it.
exist. Me and Zach had the same frickin' fever dream or mushroom trip, apparently.
I have no.
And
I have no recollection of this meal.
They were great. Just like I said, they were a solid lunch. To this day, me and my friends, when we talk about random school memories,
You get ham and turkey wraps.
Dickie every time
You
will
guys
be
talk
like,
about lunch?
every once in a while, yes. To be fair, Dickie's mom works at the school, and he's always like, "Hey, Mom, when there's ham and turkey day, snag me one. I don't care that it's 3 hours old and I don't live with you anymore. I will stop over for a ham and turkey wrap." Because, like Don said, you can't find them in the wild.
So ham and turkey wrap comes in at number 3 for Zach. Don, who is currently readjusting his list, going, "Oh yeah, wait, no, those were good." What about number 3 on your list, Don?
So number 3 is a wild card, and a very specific wild card. This is something that Zach knows nothing about, but something that Garrett and I and those older than us
I
do
think
know.
we had this discussion before the podcast.
Because the answer is freshman and sophomore year salad bar.
Salad bar, 100%.
Oh,
it was so great.
It was the same price of lunch, and nobody monitored it. So at the beginning of the day, you bought your lunch token. It was either a gold one if you got the school lunch or a black one if you bought the salad bar.
Which my wife, who did not go to the same school we did, was just flabbergasted that there was like any organization to lunch whatsoever, that you had to declare at 8 a.m. what
Because
you wanted
they didn't
for lunch
want to
at
make
noon.
600
Right.
chicken sandwiches and 300 people packed and got salad bar.
Exactly.
Now, they didn't care on hamburger day because you got chili after that. But so you'd hand them that little black token and you just walk right past them, and you had free reign of that salad bar. And there was never a line at the salad bar. So you get the biggest plate you could.
Right.
You'd load it up with all the you load it up with some lettuce, and
so
then
they gave you a tray. You
Yep.
got one plate and a relatively
little a la
medium-sized
carte.
cup.
Yep.
So however you wanted to put whatever you wanted on that tray, on that plate, in that cup, you got to do it.
So you put you put your lettuce right in the middle of that plate, and then you just murdered the rest of that plate with chicken and ham croutons,
cheese,
sesame seeds.
bacon bits.
Joe Dellinger had the most ridiculous plate I'd ever seen, and he was the reason that that they started to monitor the salad bar
Because
he was eating like 2 pounds of meat and
fixins?
lettuce and
Yeah.
right.
And it got to the point where
Putting
he
coleslaw on top of it.
he was using applesauce as salad dressing just because he got more bang for his buck that way. But then he also would say, they need to make plates with raised edges so I can kind of mix this around. Like, Joe, that's called a bowl, man. I don't know. I think you're a monster at that point when you're wishing there were different style plates for the salad bar. But you're right. Like, whatever you wanted to put in that cup, you didn't have to put salad dressing in that cup. You wanted cottage cheese or pudding or
more meat.
more meat, potato salad, whatever you wanted, you could put in that cup.
I always did coleslaw.
You would. So that's done. But you're right. But when we moved to our new school for our junior and senior years, they had just prepackaged salads that nobody wanted because you couldn't load up 300 pounds of chicken or ham on top of it. So nobody got salad. So that's why Don's was freshman, sophomore year salad. And I told Zach before we started recording that you never got to experience the greatness that was the old school salad bar.
Yeah,
So,
a little bummed out.
Zach went ham and turkey wraps number 3. Don, salad bar number 3. My number 3 was tacos. I liked the school's tacos. I think they're good. The cheese was good. The meat was more seasoned than meat, but I don't
think you
care.
got multiples, right? It might have been 2 tacos.
I thought you always had to buy extra tacos.
Oh, well, okay, I did that.
I didn't.
Don's like, well, every
Clearly
day
I
I got an extra taco.
50 cents for a taco, 50 cents for 3 cookies. Yes, please.
Yeah, it was one. Hey, Mom, I need an extra $1 for lunch today. Why? It's tacos. Okay, an extra taco's 50 cents. What do you need? cookies. So, again, the cookies that you got with that extra 50 cents
Just the
were
best
like
cookies.
Otis Spunkenmeyer himself made those cookies. But the first batch was whipped up by someone who wished harm on you. Like there was fiberglass in them. There was all sorts of stuff. But
I
on
need
the whole,
clarification on Otis Spunkenmeyer.
you don't know Otis Spunkenmeyer, the cookie company?
Like raw cookies?
No.
No, I don't.
That's a great sign of a man that they can admit when they don't know something, Don. So I appreciate that. But
It's the first time it's ever happened and probably the last.
so tacos was my number 3, and I wish I could get a school taco today.
Yeah.
That's straight up fact.
Solid taco.
So that's my number 3. Don, your number 2.
So
on
mine-
top 5 school lunches.
Number 2, tacos. And I don't know that I have anything. There's not much more you can say about a taco than what has already been said.
The lettuce was so crisp and watery.
The
great.
lettuce was wilted
The
and
lettuce,
brown.
Yeah, the lettuce could have very well been parsley at some point. It might not have even been lettuce. Just a boatload of parsley.
What do we have that's green in the back of the fridge? Throw that back on there. These animals don't care.
I'm pretty sure that's mold.
Hey, they just mowed the yard. Can we get those grass clippings? That's green, right?
They'll eat it. These monsters don't even pay
heathens.
attention what's
It's
going in
$2
there.
for a lunch.
What's
What more could they ask?
going in their gullet? They'll scarf whatever down. So we've said everything we can about school tacos. So that's number 2 on Don's list. Zach?
Number 2 on my list. My number 2 is the Fiesta pizza, the octagonal ones. I
believe that's the UFC pizza.
Yeah, because I will straight up fight someone for it.
And you'll lose.
Oh, definitely. I'm a giant wuss. But it just they were a rare occurrence. They were not like the regular rectangle pizza with the shard of pepperoni on it. It had like a little hunk of meat on it. There was probably like 7.
I think they called it sausage, but I don't know that it
As
was.
I say, like I said, meat. Like, and that's being generous. I feel it was probably 90% soy.
But it was good.
But it was good.
Isn't soy expensive? It wasn't soy.
I don't know. Do we look like we eat soy?
Right. Do I look like a soy boy?
Kind of.
Well, but yeah, no. Like it was just it was that rare occurrence that you had the octagonal pizza. It was probably a hexagon, in all honesty, but I don't remember how many sides it had. I graduated high school 10 years ago.
It's not geometry.
Right. But it had a little bit of Mexican spice to it, and that's why it was the Fiesta pizza. But on the whole, I was a fan.
So that's Zach's number 2. My number 2 has already been mentioned once. The sausage linked French toast sticks. I didn't think the French toast sticks were all that bad. You could build a house with them. Like, on the inside, they were pretty fluffy.
Okay, on the inside, but you had to eat through the hard outer shell.
Right, like that outside corner just...
Right, I get that.
Like
It's
lobsters aren't that bad
lunch.
on the inside, but you got to get through that shell.
I'm not sure lobsters and French toast sticks from school
I feel
are
like that's
comparable.
way more apt than you think it is.
But you're right. You douse some brown-colored syrup on them. You can't call it maple syrup. It's sort of like LaCroix, in that, like a lemon LaCroix just looks like a bottle of water was thinking about a lemon when you put it in there. That syrup in high school looked at a maple tree once, and that made it maple syrup. There wasn't it wasn't maple syrup as much as it thought about a maple tree one time. So once you doused your whole plate in that, the French toast sticks were pretty good. So and we talked about it earlier that it was a once every 2-month occasion or something like that. It wasn't often. So when you got it, you appreciated it. So those are our number 2s. If we do, does anybody have honorable mentions in their top 5 school lunches?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do as well.
Go ahead.
My honorable mention had been previously stated. My honorable mention was chili and grilled cheese because, like Don said, they were a winning combination. Every single time it slapped.
You are not cool enough to say it slapped.
It slapped, son.
No,
It
you
slapped.
are not. You're currently wearing suspenders.
Well,
You cannot say it slaps while wearing suspenders.
if we had any millennial listeners,
We are millennials.
Gen Zers, Corona is
Coronials.
Coronials.
No, these Gen Zers.
They have now stopped using that word.
Good.
You sing like you are a meteor and they are dinosaurs.
Good.
You have extincted the word slabs.
Good. But no, like Don said, we were given the wisdom of waiting in line for chili, that it was worth the wait. And if that's not a life lesson that the classroom never taught us, I don't know what is.
That's something you got to learn it on the hard knock streets. They don't teach you that in class.
They don't teach you that in class. And then the grilled cheese,
Grilled cheese was good.
grilled cheese was great. And it
was good.
I'll say the only other time you got that, other than Chili Day, was during Lent. And you're just like, yeah, this isn't good without the chili.
Okay, we haven't mentioned we went to a very small rural school in Ohio.
Graduated with less than 80 people.
There were 88 kids in our graduating class, I think, when you include
the kids that didn't actually go to school with us.
Or like the kids that went to the career center or the kids that were MRDD. There were 88 kids that were in our class. Zach, I don't know how many were in your grade, but
I think 85.
So not many kids. Of those 88 kids that were in our grade, I think there were three of them were Catholic.
3 of them were Catholic.
And the whole school had to eat fish or grilled cheese on Fridays during Lent because there were 3 Catholic kids. Just thought that was important to point out, that we were all punished because 3 kids in our grade were Catholic.
Now, fish isn't bad, but school fish.
Yeah, school fish, not great. You're not even sure if it was actually fish.
So on my honorable mention, the one that I have on here is chicken noodle
and mashed
potatoes.
It was you wanted it to be good, but it very rarely was good.
And really, it's on here for the mashed potatoes and the butter bread.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, when the actual chicken and noodles were good and warm, they were good.
Right, you're in a top 2 at that point, but
very
rarely.
It was very
inconsistent,
and it was a high frequency meal. We had that a lot.
Yeah,
like maybe more than once a month sometimes. And when you're making food for 20 days out of the month, I don't think it's that hard to ask that we can go less than once a month. And I had the rectangle pizza again, just because they don't believe in slices in American schools with pepperoni. Give me a slice of pepperoni, but maybe you got more that way. I doubt it, but I don't know. So now that we have gone through our top 5 through 2 in our honorable mention, number 1 on Zach's top 5 school lunch list.
And there's only one right answer.
There's only one right answer, Zach, and that is?
I really hope I have the same answer as you guys
You don't.
do.
There's no way you do.
Okay, well, my number 1 answer was chicken fajitas. Because they were better than the taco.
What were they?
I was going to say, are we going to do this?
I mean, I figured at some point, like, this was going to get brought up. I figured one of you two had it on your number 1 spot.
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm drastically wrong.
So do I have to tell the chicken?
I thought that there was no way that you could be more wrong when you had tacos at 5.
But
then you had
the tacos
chicken fajitas at 1.
Tacos were better than chicken fajitas.
No, the chicken fajitas were way better than tacos.
You're just wrong.
So as a senior in high school, I got kicked off the announcements. We televised our announcements because we were high tech in 2007 and 2008. And I got kicked off the morning announcements because I said chicken fajitas on the air as a joke instead of chicken fajitas. And the Spanish teacher chased me down the hallway yelling at me because I said chicken fajitas. And it was insensitive and offensive to Mexican culture to call them chicken fajitas instead of chicken fajitas. Now, in the reaction show, I will tell you what I said to that teacher in the hallway.
Which is probably the real reason he was kicked off of the morning announcement show.
Which very well. So in the reaction show, if it interests you what I said to that teacher and might play a role in why I was kicked off the announcements, that will be in the reaction show, which is generally rated NSFW, which is not safe for work. It depends on where you work. If you work at a
Unrated, uncensored.
Yes, we let
full-blown
there are
frontal.
curse words.
Oh.
Yes. No, not full frontal. No, this is still just a podcast.
Gotcha.
So Zach is horribly wrong with his chicken fajitas at number 1. Don, your number 1 is?
The correct answer. The only real answer. Pizza boats.
Oh, my God. Okay. So
Some of you know them as French bread pizza.
You mean normal people know them?
Well, everybody else.
Incorrect people. People who don't have the same culture. They're not as cultured as I am. Who just didn't think outside the box and just read off what was on the lunch menu. French bread pizza. No, those are clearly pizza boats.
The problem is the one time you were trying to describe your favorite lunch, school lunch in college, you said pizza boats, and someone knew exactly what you were talking about.
Right, it was Joe Dellinger's wife. Knew exactly what I was talking about.
She was like, "Do you mean French bread pizzas?" No, I mean pizza boats. And she's like, "I know what you're talking about, though." So pizza boats.
Pizza boats.
You're sort of like,
1.
I met someone once who said, "Pass me the pasta sugar," and I said, "What the hell is that?" And they said, "That's what my grandpa calls Parmesan cheese."
He's a man that I would like to meet and have a beer with, because pasta sugar is now what I'm calling Parmesan cheese.
So pizza boats, or better known as French bread pizzas, and that was like a once a year thing.
Yeah, that was a very rare
That was
occurrence.
a best day of the year at school day.
It was a solar
God
eclipse
forbid
of school lunches.
that be on assembly day, because there's no topping that. And a little bit
It's
of
the
why
pinnacle.
it's pizza boat. The bottom crust, hard as a rock. That's going to float if you put it in a bathtub.
Why are you putting French bread pizza in a bathtub?
I'm not. I'm eating it because it's delicious. But if I wanted to put it in a bathtub, it would float.
All right, that's some sentences I never thought I would hear out loud, especially on this podcast. My number 1, which I thought was going to be Don's number 1, was the Fiestada pizza, the Mexican pizza, the octagon or hexagon pizza. It was so good. It was so much softer than regular pizza.
Oh, fact.
The cheese was great. The sauce was great. The meat was not pepperoni and was not anything that resembled food, but it was still good. And that was, again, a once every 2 or 3 month item, and it was so good. So Mexican pizza.
But would it float if you put it in a bathtub?
That is not like.
If that's how you're judging your pizza, you're doing it wrong.
I was going to say that's not the. It's not the qualifications.
Let's not say bathtub. Let's say hot tub. You're cracking a couple cold ones with the boys.
Someone said,
sitting in the hot
"Yo,
tub.
toss me a pizza boat.
Toss me an octagon pizza. It's going to sink right to the bottom of the hot tub.
Ruin the jets."
It's not. It's not a detriment to the pizza.
Now you got pizza in your jets. You've got to explain to your mom why there's pizza in the jets. You don't have that problem with pizza boats.
No, you don't. So those are our top 5 favorite school lunches. We do have a composite list here of our top 5 that we give a point system to and rank between the 3 of us, our top 5 school lunches. Coming in at number 5 was the salad bar and the ham and turkey wrap. That was a tie for number 5. Number 4 was chicken fajitas and pizza boats. Number 3 was French toast and sausage links. Number 2 was tacos. I think all 3 of us had tacos on our list. And then number 1, the best school lunch, was the Mexican pizza, the Fiestada, the octagon, hexagon, whatever shape it was. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician or a doctor.
I am officially contesting these results.
These are your results, man.
Official contestation. We will be posting a Twitter poll.
That's fine.
On whether or not
our Fiestada pizzas the top school lunch.
Exactly.
We will post that on Twitter. Follow us at RankEmPodcast. That is our school lunch edition of the RankEmPodcast. I want to thank Zach Searight.
Thank you.
Don Garwood.
Thank you.
For joining us on this episode of the RankEmPodcast. Follow us at RankEmPodcast on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and listen to us wherever you download your podcasts. Check back all the time for new updated episodes. And thanks for joining us here. Of course, the reaction show coming up next if you'd like to, and I'll tell you again what I said to the teacher that got me kicked off the morning announcements. Thanks for joining us on this week's RankEmPodcast.